Hello all, it's Craig out here on the farm. What you can see in front of me is I got some apples. I wanted to educate you a little bit on store-bought apples versus what we're growing out here, to kind of do just a comparison. I had Susie pick up some apples, and she happened to pick up some Honeycrisp apples from the from the store. I'm gonna pull, and then I went out to the tree this morning and grabbed Honeycrisp apples, just to do the equal comparison. So let me just grab 4 out of here just to compare the 4. So what you're going to notice between, and I'll pull them up to the camera. Let me see if I can put this camera down a little bit. What you're going to notice from the store-bought apples from the local grocery store is, one, they're very clean. No specks on them, shiny, a little bit small, but not too bad. I tasted one this morning and they're bland, but they're not a bad apple. And you could, these are all really clean. And again, these are Honeycrisp. Has one little minor speck right here. These are not organic apples. And I know I've been eating non-organic apples, my whole life basically until recently. What we're doing out here at our little farm, micro farm, we're trying to do it organically. We're trying to use sprays that are good for the environment. Our main spray is neem oil, 100% neem oil. Neem oil is in a lot of hair care and makeup, from what I'm told. I don't use either one of those, as you could probably tell. But what I wanted to show you was the differences in blemishes from an organic apple to store-bought that is highly sprayed with stuff that you can't eat. Anything that I spray on here, you can eat. It might not taste that good, but you can eat it. This is the biggest of the 4 apples that I picked. This is a Honeycrisp right here. This is like a perfect organic apple. There's no blemishes. You can probably see the size difference between the two. But I don't want to show you the one with no blemishes on it. This one is another good one, but it has a small blemish right here. This does not affect the taste of the apple. Sometimes when you go to buy organic, or we want something that looks pristine. It's food. It's got to look good. From presentations, from the restaurant or whatever. This has a small blemish on it. You can eat right through that and you'll never notice it. If you were blind and you ate that, you would think that this was a perfect apple, because that's the only small spot on it that is bad. This one has some deformities to it. It's got a couple small little dots on it. And I see if you can see that little deformity right there. It doesn't change the flavor of it. These explode with flavor. They're Honeycrisp, so most of us like the Honeycrisp apple out there. It's about more of the same size, maybe even a little bit smaller than the other. Also has this little scab right here. Again, that doesn't change anything, and I'm going to cut one up here just to show you. Make sure I have my knife on me. Here's another one. More on the smaller size, a little bit more, to this size apple right here. This one's a little bit bigger. But another good looking apple. There's no, maybe a couple small little spots. You're going to have that with organic. There's just, these guys, they might get up to 75-80% of the apples, maybe even higher, off the tree that'll look like this because they spray so much. And who knows when the heck this was picked. These were picked this morning. But what I want to show you too, just to show you what I mean by, can you see this little bump right here? There's a little bump. You can see my knife hitting it here. But if I cut that bump off, this is, that's a small little, it's not dark, it's not anything. It doesn't change the flavor, or it doesn't change, the apple's not bad. It's just a small spot. Here's a black spot right here. You know, if I take and look, I mean, that's just a small little shaving off of that. You could barely see. So just because it might have a couple of bad spots on it doesn't change the flavor that I guarantee you this apple tastes way better than these apples. Again, this was picked this morning. And also, apples tend to get more sugar in them as they're stored in a refrigerator. So if you were to grab a fresh apple like this, you know, from Sage's, Patterson, Cold Cork Springs, Brandt's, they have phenomenal tasting apples. Now, I don't know how many of them are organic, and I'm not competing with them by any means because I don't have the space, the volume is what they do. But they're tasty apples. You put them in the refrigerator and the starch is turned into sugar, and you'll get more sugar out of these. So even though this apple tastes phenomenal right now, I throw this in the refrigerator in about a week, this apple, the sweetness to this apple, and it still maintains the crunch. And again, that's where the Honey Crisp, that crispness to it. So anyway, I just kind of want to educate you. Boy, I wish I could take a picture of that one and have all my apples look like this one. You know, again, this is a Honey Crisp, and you know, these four came from the same tree. But look at the difference depending on, you know, they're not all going to look like this from the same tree. But the flavors are just phenomenal. Anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that, and thank you for watching. And I hope to bring more videos that kind of separates us or makes us a little bit different than, you know, the store down the road from you. And I know that we're off the beaten path, but you know, maybe for some good food and some good conversation, and you know, come on out and see us. Hopefully next year we'll be up and we'll have a wagon out front, and you know, selling that way with our honey, and maybe some cut flowers and some woodworking projects, because that's what I do, as well as doing the orchard. Thank you very much for watching.